Welcome to the Real CP Show. I'm your host, CP. And today's topic is one that still continues to not be talked about enough. And it definitely is one of those topics, major topics, that continues to be minimized extremeliness. In this particular example, this domestic abuser woman humiliated her ex-boyfriend. It is definitely a shh as usual. That is what the continuation of numbers of women within various parts of society, be it within Americanism and various other places. This is what they do every day. This is what they do, how they sign every day when they know that there are numbers of violent, abusive women out there that are abusing males daily, physically, emotionally, mentally, and financially. And then white feminism, which is also one of the most deadliest mental manipulation forces that's ever existed. They know that they have quite a number of politicalness personnel, the one this applies to. They know they have certain other entities that they control. And they know they can sit there and say certain type of words like, oh, sexist, you're sexist, toxic masculinity. And that puts quite a number of males in a proverbial infantile mode, almost like that childlike status, to sit there and tolerate this monstrosity of minimization of males being abused by numbers of women. In this topic, or in this story, I'm going to go over, and at the end of this, I'm going to read some comments on this. Today is October the 18th, 2024, and I'm utilizing this as a timepiece purpose as well. How many males will have to continue to be victims at the hands of deadly physical abusing, mentally abusing, emotional abusing, financial abusing women? How many more males are going to tolerate this kind of abuse toward them? How many more? How many more males that have to suffer before more males start to speak up on this and start demanding have politicalness and have entities and not settle for the minimization of this horrendousness of abuse toward males? And unfortunately, there are some sellouts, some coonish males as well. So getting to this story, this particular man who was kicked and punched and made to sleep on the floor and refused access to a toilet by his abusive ex-girlfriend, says he wants to tell his story to help others. This particular guy, 41 years old, said it took more than a year of therapy to begin to recover from months of emotional and physical abuse from a woman he met in July of 2021. He relayed over that a charity whose helpline he turned to said, male domestic abuse is not as rare as some people may think. No shit. For the people that know, male abuse by numbers of horrendous numbers of women is rampant. And then there are certain numbers of women, violent women, and other entities who are pro-womanhood that want to sit there and suppress this reality. They start coming out with some lowball ass number, and unfortunately, there are some numbers of organizations that you would like, hey, more males don't allow people to lowball the horrendousness of male abuse by numbers of physically abusing, emotional abusing, mental abusing, financially abusing women. It talks about how earlier this year, this 41-year-old domestic abuser woman from Winsford in Cheshire, which is not too far from Liverpool, England, not too far from Manchester, I think they was talking about. Yeah, I'm not even talking about with an Americanism right now. I'm not even talking about that. In this example, because the tentacles of white feminism, who has a misogynistic hatred of males, anything strong, their tentacles are growing in different places, in different parts of the globe. That this demonic, physically abusing, mentally abusing, emotionally abusing woman, she was given a 20-month prison sentence. Oh my goodness. And for the personnel who know that know, and for the person who don't know, that is like a slap on the fingertips. As I read on this, I want you to imagine if this was a woman and she was a victim at the hands of man, because you know how that goes. Oh my goodness, males, toxic masculinity. Oh my goodness, males abusing women. Oh my goodness. The Violence Against Women Act with Americanism. He said, what the hell? Do people not know that there is also that domestic violence is not a gender women only issue? You see the disturbing game with this that's allowed by unfortunate numbers of males. Numbers of organizations are allowing this. Who wants to know they are? The demanding of political figures is not happening like that. The numbers of other entities that need to be accountable for their minimization of males being abused by numbers of women is not being called out. Disgusting. But again, I want you to keep it in mind of this slap on the fingertips of this 20-month prison sentence that was put against this violent abuser woman toward her boyfriend. And imagine if this was reversed and he was doing this after I read it. You imagine how that sounds. This abuser woman who abused her boyfriend, she pleaded guilty. The story goes also is that it was described that this domestic abuser woman of her boyfriend as having a stranglehold over her victim. It was added that many people think only women can be victims of controlling and coercive behavior. But as in this case demonstrates, that is not always the case. No shit. It don't take no rocket sciences to figure stuff out. But seemingly, it's almost like there are numbers of males who are scared to sit there and call out this nonsense. this epidemic of abuse toward males. That's mental derangement. But at the same time, it's understandable because the many numbers of male victims out here that's suffering. And there are numbers of male victims who don't even know that they're being domestically abused. This system is brilliant. Be it within various parts of Americanism and however other places around various parts of the globe that are minimizing this. The story continues and goes is that this guy who was some type of manager described being isolated from his friends and family during their 9-month relationship, losing control of his finances and about 40,000 pounds. See, financial abuse by that demonic, physically abusing as well, mental abusing, emotionally abusing woman, which also she financially abused this guy. It was a way that he was subjected to daily verbal abuse and humiliation. Now he was not allowed to use the toilet in the house or shower without that abuser woman's permission. What in the hell? Do you know how many people would get beat the hell down, since the prison, etc., if they even thought about harming an animal? But against this guy, it was like, whatever then. 20 months prison sentence, suspended. So this violent domestic abuser woman a monster. What I just read, this guy said he was subjected to daily verbal abuse as well, humiliation, not allowed to use the toilet in the house or shower without her permission. Damn. Strict controls of his diet meant he lost 4.5 stones, or about 28 kilograms in 2 months. While that violent ass woman, domestic abusive woman, repeatedly told him she would tell the enforcement he had assaulted her if he spoke to anyone about the abuse. God damn. How many damn women, violent ass women out there, abusive ass women, who utilize that disgusting ass tactic? And it works. However, most of the time. That should have been automatic damn jail time regardless. Speaking 5 months after the sentencing, strict controls of his diet meant he lost 4.5 stones in 2 months. While that violent ass woman, domestic abuser woman, repeatedly told him she would tell the enforcement he had assaulted her if he spoke to anyone about the abuse. Speaking 5 months after the sentencing, the guy said at first the relationship seemed normal, though in hindsight he could see that she was overly affectionate. I guess they call it love booming. He said, I thought, how can this person be so loving? I think it takes you aback. You think this could really be the one and this could work out. It was overly powerful. He gave up his apartment and moved into that domestic abuser woman's home just 4 months after they met. Red flags, red flags, red flags, red flags. Males do not move into a woman's apartment if they do not have a bag up. There are numbers of women who know, yes, they already know. The ones who know that ain't disgusting like that, who they ain't trying to sit there and play pro sisterhood, pro womanhood, that know, hey, you know what? They understand that there is a caste system of women, and they know how foolish it would be to continue to be trying to do the white feminism wall a womanism to know that there are women out there who don't stand other women. Another topic in itself. The domestic abusive woman made him pay for all the time he previously spent at the house. Damn. He also spent £700 a month in rent plus all the bills, but was not allowed a key. Damn. And could only be in the property when she was at home. Man, what kind of gigantic ass, monster ass shit of abuser this woman was or is. Imagine again if this was vice versa and a man did that to a woman. Oh, damn. Restrictions were also placed on his use of the bathroom and what he could and could not eat. Damn, if you don't know what oh my goodness. The outrage and however social medias and however various news organizations, damn, Americanism across the pond in England, etc. If that would have been a man who did this to a woman, oh my goodness. And he gets 20 little funky little prison sentence that was suspended. And he did it to a woman. Oh my goodness. She made him sleep on the floor with no covers if things weren't going her way as punishment. He said he wasn't allowed to shower or shave or use the toilet. He had to hold it in and try to make it down to the local supermarket or a pub. Wow. If she wanted to go out, he had to leave. Now remember, he spent all the damn bills. Even if he was trying to work. The domestic abusive woman would go through his phone and tell him not to associate with family. Wow. And friends. Telling him you are with her now. Wow. Any text sent to his mom, she would delete immediately to avoid repercussions. There was physical abuse, including biting, kicking, scratching, and clawing. Let me repeat this. He relayed about this monstrous, vile, demonic, domestic abuser woman, how she physically abused him, including biting, kicking, scratching, and clawing him. Wow. He described an occasion in London on a big long weekend when that domestic abuser woman demanded he buy her a designer handbag. They was at this particular store and she said, "We're not leaving until you buy me something expensive," he said. She clawed him through his jumper. His arm was actually bleeding until she forced him into buying something expensive for her. 5 months after he moved in with that domestic abuser woman, he said things came to a head when he met his mom and seeked for a cup of coffee. His mom broke down in front of him. He said, he thought he can't put his family through it any longer. They were imploring him to leave. So he called one of these particular organizations, which again, that's supposed to be dealing with males, but you know how rare the hell that is. And they confirmed he was suffering from domestic abuse. Oh my God. I mean, goodness. This guy was 41 years old, and he didn't even know he was being domestically abused until he called his, per se, man organization, should we say. And he didn't even know he's been domestically abused. How many males suffer this every damn day? This got to be reduced down. He said that they confirmed he was suffering domestic abuse, and hearing it from someone neutral helped him understand he needed to get out. Damn. I was going to read some other stuff with this. I'm just going to close this out with this particular article till I get these comments. The particular organization relayed, they praised this guy's bravery in telling his story and said the experience of men like him is not often heard about. Let me repeat this again. that the experience of men like him is not often heard about. There isn't much about male victims of domestic violence that this guy at this particular male charity initiative relayed over. It's not often talked about. So there isn't always that awareness, even for men, that domestic abuse actually does and can actually happen to them. Mm, mm, mm. That was so disgusting. It was disgusting, man. I had to, how do you kind of have to get the emotional response in check, because it is tiring that there are so many males out in society, be it within Americanism, be it whatever across the pond, be it whatever other places, that are suffering from domestic abuse by the hands of domestic abuser women. And many males don't know what direction to go. That shit needs to stop. And unfortunately, there are some, again, certain numbers of coonish males and sellout males. And there are males out there who deflect. And it's disgusting. Even when, there have been, situations where there have been males that said they would call, certain parts of enforcement and reported this, and they were not taken serious. I want you to think about that. But let, personnel get calls from a woman. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! This man is domestic abusing. And you see how fast, enforcement, the ones applies to, we're going to put that man in handcuffs. You see how that shit goes? You see the disturbingness of that. Let me read some of these comments, and I'm going to close out this particular topic on this. One comment said, abusers are experts in identifying easily controlled prey. No, it's not abusers. We're talking about women abusers. The other comment said, this guy was in need of therapy before he connected with her. He said he don't mean that in a derogatory way, that he's glad he got away from her and obtained help. It's courageous of him to share his story. All the best to him and anyone dealing with what he dealt with. It ain't about anyone dealing with. What the hell do you mean, anyone? This is about males getting domestic abuse. Numbers of women don't need males to fight for being domestically abused, certain women that are domestically abused. Numbers of white feminism and their daily manipulation. They don't need damn males to sit there and fight, to sit there and utilize their debt manipulation tactics and act like as if only women are domestically abused. But you got however politicalness of numbers of males, and however organizations, the ones it applies to, that can't stop sitting there trying to fight for women's issues left and right. And that's disturbing. Yes, and there are certain small numbers of politicalness of males, and however it is, that sit there and probably would like to fight against these kind of things, but there would be the rareness, be it within Americanism or be it across the pond or wherever else. And you have some fools out here that'd be like, oh my goodness, you know what? In that other country, in this other country, they don't allow, let me go to hell. See, it's always some people that gotta be deflectors and silly ass disposable mentalities that can't use logical ass sense. That ain't about certain other countries that are not allowing this shit to happen. But you best believe the pro-women's movement are going to these little different other places, pieces at a time, and putting controls and putting manipulation tactics in there. But I don't want to go into that particular topic. The next comment says, most men don't report domestic violence since people don't believe it happens to men. Definitely so. Next comment, many officials refuse to believe abuse like other physical crimes such as such as sexual assaults, occur when women are the victims. So why would men reporting abuse be seen any differently? The basis of disbelief is that anything a woman says that makes a man look bad must be a lie, and that the victim asked for the abuse because they did not do as they were told or expected or whatever. So it is on the victims to prevent the abuse. Insane, but that is the mindset when women are abused. So why would it not be applied at least to some men who are being abused? That's great. That's right. Continuing here. Women are always, the ones it applies to, automatically the victim and automatically believe without any proof. Women, once it applies to, need to start being held accountable and face the same punishment of the falsely accused of the accusation that is found to be false. Oh, that should be beyond laws, left and right, with teeth into it. Next comment. Watch this. Hold on for a second. Oh, never mind. There was something else. I choose. Another comment said, maybe if women, the ones it applies to, could learn to tell the truth instead of being perpetual victims, the one it applies to. Just saying, no, I did not. Hold on a second. No, the pops. This person says, I guess he called enforcement, and they started telling him, "Can't you handle a woman?" They totally shamed me for reporting my ex-girlfriend breaking into my house and starting fights with me. That's a bunch of lies that men don't report DV. It's certain parts of enforcement that are the problem, and numbers of politicalness. They talk about how if we hit them, talking about the woman, the men go to jail. But what do you do when the woman is trying to make you hit her? Another comment says, this happens more often than you think. I had a coworker years ago who had this happen to him. He hid it well until one day he came into work, not moving in his usual gait. While at work, he had to change his soiled shirts to a clean one. I saw the bruise on his back. He finally broke down and told me that what happened the night before. While taking a shower, his wife came and you can figure out what she did. I took him to the ER and he found out that he had a broken rib. Damn. That was the final straw for him. She ended up doing 4 years. It took him years to recover, right? And how rare that's not happening. Even 4 years to do that compared to what the man would receive, please. Another person says, 20-month sentence suspended for 2 years. If it was him, he would have been longer, put in jail, and not suspended. There you go. Another comment. Suspended sentence. Does anyone truly think if the genders were reversed here that the man would have received a suspended sentence? That's right. Another comment. Almost finished. This happens more than people realize. I have seen it myself. Men don't usually say anything because they don't want to appear weak or because they are being threatened with an accusation from the woman. In this day and age, with the Me Too, etc., women can accuse a man of something and he is guilty and proven innocent. Another comment. I have a friend. She was very abusive. Now, I think this is from a woman. They had a friend. She was very abusive to her husband, both mentally and sometimes physically. It's not a sometimes thing. He was the shell of a man. They were married for 45 years until he died 2 years ago. She can't get over the fact that he died. She lost her punching bag, and she can't figure out what to do. We often wondered why this went on for so long. They were young when they got married, and that's just how their marriage was. Sickening to us on the outside looking in. That was such a disturbingness, right? Because see, again, men collectively, gigantic, do not report domestic abuse happening to men, right? See, when numbers of women report it, some people say, "Oh my goodness, why is she stay in a relationship so long?" What are you talking about? Collectively, women do not stay in domestic abuse relationships for a gigantic amount of time like that. That's a damn lie. Now, some of them damn do, right? But you know what? There is no chastisement behind enforcement. There's no chastisement the one applies to behind political figures. Why did the women leave? Why don't women leave? Right? There's no chastisement like that. When it happens to a male, what did he do? Well, he should have just left. What hypocrisy. Oh, this person said they caught their wife verbally abusing my. Excuse me, let me pick. I caught my wife verbally abusing my, not hers, 16-year-old daughter one day when she didn't realize I was home. I confronted her and informed her that was unacceptable behavior on her part. She then physically attacked me later in the day and managed to get me charged and tossed with domestic violence for charges. Damn. She attacks him. His wife physically attacks him, but charges put upon him. Damn. See, this is the kind of bullshit. He said, I was unable to live at my own house for 6 months. And she was laughing. You best believe she was laughing. Until I could get charges dismissed by 2 different judges. Men need to be careful because the debt can be stacked against them. And that's bullshit. That needs to stop beyond. This is not funny at all. Because you talking about the young males that are coming up, right? Pre-teenagers, teenagers, right? And you best believe there are numbers of women in this society and various other places too. They teach their little girls to sit there and get over males and how to sit there and manipulate males and stuff like that. You best believe this shit is taught. And there needs to be some damn legality. There needs to be some legality consequences, not just some little no, it needs to be some hardcore teeth to it. The woman lies about domestic abuse, her ass needs to be in prison. And whichever monetary repentance, or should I say monetary compensation, right, needs to go toward from that woman to that man, right? That'll stop a lot of damn stuff. But see, the system, the supply officers do not want to sit there and stop that. They want to have more domestic abuse toward males, right? Because there are certain numbers of pro-womanhood entities in various politicalness and how other places, and they use again toxic masculinity, non-physical terminology, as if there's no feminine, as if there's no woman, toxic masculinity, as if there's no toxic womanality out there going on. They want to use misogyny. How many people heard of misogyny? But they're talking about misandry, right? That's the hatred of males by numbers of women. The game is getting tired, man. The last part of this guy's comment, she said she attacked him, punching him in the face. She had never been physically before, but he didn't say she's not been mentally abusing, emotional abusing, right? See, these things can also be very subtle. And financial abusing. Many guys don't even know when they've been financially abused by numbers of women. He said he called the cops and they told him the best thing was for him to go to a hotel until things calm down and leave. And she's a domestic abuser. Damn. They could ask her to leave. My brother was the victim of domestic and financial abuse. at the hands of him, starve him, take him from family, and constantly he stayed way too long, partly because of his kids were involved, unfortunately. For family, there was constant fear for his safety and frustration at his inability to walk away. His situation drastically about this. But you see how they went? This guy was a typicalness. Oh, trope, no bullshit trope. Oh my goodness. Right. Males have lost their lives behind domestic abuse. You think that's funny? It's not funny when a person is a family member or a friend or so. Who's laughing about that is the damn victim. That's not funny. The the more consequentialness to let people know this is not acceptable. There needs to be more males that needs to demand from high politicalness, get these laws passed and get policies done. That is, then there need to be some legal. This needs to stop because this is it's not funny toward males. It's not a ha ha moment. As long as too many males that are victims of domestic abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, and financial abuse continue to act like that this is there are some instances, of course, where it's a little harder. I'm only relaying that there needs to be more that when women assault violently, overtly violently, because remember, spitting, kicking, punching is also domestic abuse, people, right? So how's the domestic abuse is only seen as some women issue, but there's a Violence Against Women Act. Do you see how insulting that sounds? But this is allowed, and more males need to speak out about this atrocityness of inequality, of the non-belief that men don't get domestic abuse, or this is minimized. It needs to stop. Because if it doesn't, the upcoming youth males are also going to have hell to pay. Because already the Me Too-ness and the sexual assault chargeness and sexual harassment charges is getting toward males is getting out of hand. And how many women have lied? Which is a whole different topic that more males about to stop playing around and start realizing that I don't give a damn about if it looks like it's innocent. To start making numbers of women accountable. They start making a certain type of uncomfortable innuendo, unwelcome touching. That shit is not funny. Because if a man did that stuff, you know what would happen. So again, the domestic abuse toward males, be it within Americanism, be it across that pond, be it however places, it needs to be called out, people. It needs to be taken serious. But it's not going to be taken serious as long as there's way too many males that think this is not a problem. And this is what, under white feminism, and that's what they like, for more males not to take this serious. And that is what numbers of women do each and every damn day. Because they know there's quite a number of males out there that are not taking domestic abuse against males very serious. I thank you for tuning in to the Real CP Show.